All right, let's get started. All right, we are going live in 3, 2, 1. Yay! Here we are. So, okay, so Noodle Sushi, I will be talking just on the stream now, because if you're watching, you're going to have a delay. So
okay,
right. So, hello everyone. This series is going to be a series about making a platformer game from start to finish. The previous video I showed you how we plan and project and design our game. In this live stream we are going to make the character controller, which is basically the base movement for the character. Please let me know if this sound is loud or too low. And also we have a guest. Noodle Sushi is a member of our Discord community, which actually works with music, which is pretty amazing. If you want to introduce yourself, Noodle Sushi, feel free. Okay, before we actually start... Hello. Hey.
Yes, my name is Godot Sushi. I do beats and I do game development. I haven't done much, honestly, but I'm working on a rhythm game, and I'm right now procrastinating and stuff. And I just graduated from high school. Hell yeah!
Yay! Best part of life. You know, I actually enjoyed my high school time. It was pretty cool. But yeah, being on high school on pandemic might not be as good.
Oh yeah, my grade 12 was like online. It was a surreal experience because it was, of course, my first. And yeah, stuff.
Yeah, stuff. Okay, so before we actually start the development of this live stream, let me thank all my patrons. These are the people that are supporting all the content that I made here on YouTube. Without their support, I wouldn't be, for sure, I wouldn't be on YouTube anymore. So yeah, they supported this series. And also, all the files, all the source files that I'm going to create and develop will be available to patrons only. So if you want to get access to all the files and the stuff that we are going to create here, become a patron. With $5 or more, you will get access to all the files. Okay. Let me get back here. No, the Sushi, do you prefer that I keep the voice here on Discord, or will you follow through the stream?
What do you mean?
Yeah, because we are going to chat, so I can keep the voice here on Discord. It's just because here on Discord I have to keep a button pressed to have the voice activate. So if you prefer that we chat here on Discord, I can turn on the voice activity threshold instead.
Yeah, I think I could just like mute. I could like mute the live and talk here. I think that, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay, so I'm going to use the Discord instead. Okay, are you hearing? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. Alright guys, let's get started. Let me see the chat before we actually dive into the stream. Bro, my voice sounds cringe. No, it doesn't. Cricket nice, congrats on graduation, thanks. Okay, good stuff, let's get started. So,
let's go.
If you guys didn't follow up with the previous video, which performed pretty poorly, for fuck's sake, YouTube. Let me give you a small presentation of the game concept. So the idea is that you are this square, and you have the players don't control this ability, but the idea is that the square have the ability to create square shapes, so stable shapes, and there are these main antagonists, which is the triangle. It creates instability and dangers and hazards, stuff like this, like these spikes. Square has some basic movements, like jump. I think that I will add a double jump and dash, and probably wall jump as well. These are the move set for the square. And there is this second antagonist, which is the circle. The circle basically provides hazards that are movement based, such as these pendulum blades, but also rocks and stuff that roll on slopes. And yeah, this is the basic idea of the game. So without further ado, let's create the actual character controller. We're going to start with a kinematic body.
Pigdiv, do you plan to share your screen? Because
no.
Just your
oh fuck!
Oh, okay.
I always do that, for fuck's sake, guys.
It happens.
Yeah. I think I need a stream assistant, because I always do this stuff. So yeah, you guys didn't saw the presentation, right? Let me just play it through, and well, you guess what it's about. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, let's start with the development. Collision shapes, sprite. You know, I was thinking about something yesterday, that I think that animation players should be the last thing that you add to a node hierarchy, and they shouldn't be like hidden into children. Like if you want to animate a children, it's better to have like all the animations on the topmost parent, something like this, because I don't know, it makes way easier to actually access and play the nodes and stuff like this. But Godot doesn't. To be honest, I think that each node should be animatable by itself, and there shouldn't be a animation player node. Don't know, just some thoughts here, because having the animation node on inside the hierarchy and having to access it and break all the encapsulation just to play some animations doesn't sound like something that is necessary or could be better. Could be a better experience for the user. I remember that in Unity we used to make character controllers with rigid bodies, and it was always like pretty messy. When I switched it to Godot, I brought this baggage with me. So the first time there is actually a video on GD Quest talking about that. Like, I started making our prototype for our first game using a rigid body, and yeah, it was one of the worst experience I had in life. So yeah, let's start with the basics of movements. Bar speed. Let me disable this hint. We only use that in GD Quest. Physics process, move, and slightly snap. This is important because we're going to have a I'm thinking about something. I usually use a constant for the snap direction, but since we are going to have wall jump, I'm thinking about when the character is sliding on the wall, maybe the snap direction should change. So I think that I will keep that as a variable instead.
Are you not a fan of static typing?
What?
Are you not a fan of static typing?
No, I hate it.
Oh, interesting. That's the opposite, because like I always like the reason why I like C# is like its static thing, because I sometimes like I sometimes forget like what type of variable it is, and like the auto completion stuff really helps me whenever I develop stuff.
Yeah, that's something that we at GD Quest, actually just me wasn't against in GD Quest, because I think that you should be free to change the type of a variable as long as you know what you're doing, and the intention of the variable should be based on its name. So for instance, we have the snap direction, and well, a direction can well, the direction can be like a unit, like one vector if we are just talking about like horizontal or vertical, and in that sense it would be like an integer or probably a float. But since that this is not explicit, like it's just a general direction, you can assume that it is a vector too. So based on the name of the variables, you should be able to assume their type. The reason why I don't like too much static typing is especially because sometimes you need to do some general operations, especially with vectors, with arrays actually, and some arrays don't have the features that like the general array has. For instance, if you want to find a value into a pool array, like a pool vector 2 array, you won't be able to use like find. You will have to convert the pool vector 2 array to an array just to have access to the thing. And I always like, why can I use this if it is available on the general array? Why this is not available on this other array? But yeah, this is my main concern, especially like type conversion. Like if you have like 100 items on an array and you assume that all of them will be node 2D, you can like search for position, for instance, right? But if there is, even if you have like something that has a position member variable, if this is not a node 2D, you run into an error, right? So I prefer duck typing, because if the thing that you are accessing has the thing that you are trying to access, it won't return an error. It will just access it without having to imply the type.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do that in some. I think that on Moon Chaser I did something on that regard, but I don't know if it was position. But there were some classes that share some member variables. They were very distinct. They shouldn't be of the same type. They shouldn't inherit the same parent class. But they do have the same property, and at some point I had to access this property, so it would be in a static typing, this wouldn't be as doable as it was with duck typing. I just had to like run into this group of things, access this variable, and I don't mind the type of this object. Just access this variable and set it to this value. Snap direction, snap. This recast. Yeah, I had to add all the actions based on the design. Let's see the chat. Hello, PigDev, everyone. Thanks for the LMS tutorials. Oh, nice. Good. Did you try to create music with LMS already, Noodle Sushi?
Yes, I have. But honestly, I don't know. I just prefer FL Studio. But if I have no choice, I wouldn't mind using LMS.
Oh, got it. But did you watch the videos that I made on LMS?
Oh, not yet. Oh, someone's here. Hello.
Rusty.
Hello. What's up?
Hello. You're live in PigDev live stream.
Oh, that's epic.
Hey, hello, how are you doing?
Me, I'm fine. What about you?
Doing good. Bit of a cold at the moment, as always.
Okay. Okay. So are you streaming on Twitch or something?
He's on YouTube right now.
On YouTube.
Oh, okay. Let me look it up.
Direction.
And everyone could hear you right now. Hear us right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, you are basically
We're
streaming with me.
definitely live. Hell yeah. With PigDev.
Yeah.
This up direction is something that is a bit confusing because this is the thing with names. They should imply something, right? So the up direction should imply that this is the up direction, like pointing up. But what if I want this to be like the right direction or the left direction? Just for the sake of considering the wall like a floor when the character is wall jumping, you know? Yeah, I think that I will make this a variable as well. Fuck.
Streaming with PigDev.
Direction vector to that up. So yeah, I will have to make some constants here just so we can reset these variables back to the original state and don't have like tons of mutations in the game. So func reset to wall and set to ground. These are going to be the to ground floor. So yeah, when we are on the wall, this is going to be relative to which, if we are colliding with a wall on the left or the right. So this can be constants actually. Yeah, so snap direction. Oh fuck. Up direction. Stop on slope true. Let me stop on slope true. My slide for max angle. For max angle. Godot had some inconsistency when we talk about angles because, for instance, when we talk about vectors and probably most of the Node 2D related stuff, they make it so that we work with radians. But when we work with control nodes and UI in general, we work with degrees. This could be more consistent. What's the name of the thing? Get floor, velocity collision, get slight collision, this is the one. Slight collision, 0 dot normal dot x. So this is so that we can take the collision. If we, let me switch. So if we reach a wall and we are colliding with a wall, we are going to take this normal and invert it so the snap direction is pointing to the wall, so that the character is going to always stay on the wall unless we press the jump button, which will make it perform like an arc. So this is the logic here, where if is on wall, set to wall. Oh, but this is going to... Yeah, I think that the up direction is always going to be pointing up, so this can be a constant. Because otherwise, if we change the up direction, the character will consider that when it is on a wall and I change the up direction to like pointing here, the character is on a wall pointing to the left, the up direction will be pointing to the right, and this will be the floor. Now the wall will be the floor, and these checks like is on wall and is on floor won't work anymore. So yeah, the up direction should be always a constant.
You know, I've been wondering, does the Godot compiler calculate deg to rad, or does the game engine run that function and calculate it in game?
I think when this is on compile time, the compiler will convert it. But like if it is like dynamic, like if I pass something like rotation here, probably it's on runtime. Like I think it's going to depend on whether this value is static or dynamic. Is it constant or a variable? So we have to reset this snap direction to 0 just so that we don't sum the values, because here I'm just setting the horizontal axis to -1, but the direction could be like, for instance, the default is that it's pointing down. So actually this would be something like vector 2 -1 something and 1 always. So instead we have to reset it to 0 first. check this out. What is it? No, it's not this. It's actually... okay, this one. Let me see the chat. I just invaded voice chat. That music sounds like White Bat. Yeah, it was playing White Bat, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, White Bat. What's up? I'm late for the party. Not yet. Hi, hello, we just invaded the voice channel. Yeah, please do. Feel free to pick that Discord server. Okay. Okay, let's get back to work. I have to create the controls, the basic actions.
Vaporwave.
Jump. Will we have... yeah, I think we do. Down. And what are the other ones? Okay, pause. Oh, dash. Yeah, we're going to have a dash. Pause. Options. Pause, okay. Yeah, these are the ones. So move left, move right, jump, down, we'll move right, and dash. I think that I will add a chapter to this series about how to allow players to change the controls. I think that this will be some cool content to explore. So dash can be this one. Or Z. Nope. Z. I think that this will be enter. Escape backspace. Yeah, okay. So physics process, okay, let's... oh, gravity, right, export. Okay, let's see. can make it test already. Actors, levels. Do you guys have an architecture for your projects? Because I always use these actors, areas, objects, interface, screens, actors, areas, interface, files, objects, screens. I think that this is the main architecture. It always worked for me, so okay, so for this one, let's just create a static body that's gonna be the ground, just so you can test this. English speakers, please, can you explain what's the difference between floor and ground?
Oh, isn't like floor like the surface and ground is like the
Whole thing?
the whole thing? That's what I think, at least.
Yeah, makes sense. So this is going to be the ground, actually. Yeah, it makes lot of sense, actually. Jesus. I think that Godot has one of the coolest set of prototyping tools that an engine can have. Like, so easy to like just have stuff on the screen without having to create art assets and stuff like this. So for instance, something that I often do is just duplicate the collision polygon and change the type to polygon 2D. Because yay, there we have it, the visual and the physics part of the ground. Let me pick the pier.
Oh, actually, floor is, I just searched, floor is basically man-made and ground is like the thing from the earth.
Oh,
Yeah.
so not gonna change the name just because it made it.
I think it's still ground.
Yeah, I think
maybe.
it's still ground.
Like the floor made, I mean the ground, I mean, or I don't know what I should use anymore. Like the thing you made, the ground thing, is it like part of the planet or the earth or something?
This
Or is
this
it like
one
a
is
man-made thing?
I don't know. The square is not a main because the square is going to make those floors and ground and stuff. I'm just.
Is it something part of the world? Then I think I'd call it the ground.
Yeah, in the context of the game, no, it's actually the.
Yeah, it's a ground. Yeah.
What the fuck? What happened? Okay. Okay, it's falling. Let's make the movement part now. Unhandled input. Yeah, so here is something that I do that, for instance, Nathan from GD Quest contests a lot. So what Nathan does is like something velocity dot x is going to be the input dot get strength, get input action strength. of the movement left.
What's the difference
Minus.
between unhandled input and input?
So the main difference between unhandled input and input is that input is like a workaround from when you want to process an event that was already handled. So for instance, when an interface element consumes an event, you can this is not going to spread to other classes. It's going to be consumed, taken away from the scene tree, and no other class, no other object will have access to this event. With input, this event will be processed even through the interface and other objects, and other objects would still have access to this event. So a single input event can be used to multiple objects if you use the input instead of the unhandled input. It's especially good for like interface, for like objects, for instance a player, if you are going to work with interface as well. For instance, you can pause the game. No, pause, I don't know if pause will be the one of these cases, because if you pause, the character won't be moving anyway. But for instance, let's say you have two characters, and you want to control both with the same inputs. In that case, you are going to use the input instead of the unhandled input, because if you use the unhandled input, you only one of those objects will be able to consume the input. Direction. So this is how we often do on GD Quest. We take the strength of the move left action and we subtract from the strength of the move left action. This creates a basic movement like this. But here's the thing: if you press both, the character won't move, because one will neutralize the other. And this is not good for like platform controllers, because if you jump and you want to make some quick movements, at some point you are going to press both the left and the right buttons at the same time, and by doing so you'll be you won't move at all. So instead of that, I actually like to do the following: whatever is pressed last will be the one that will be considered the direction. So if event is action press left, direction dot x is going to be -1. If event is action pressed right, it's going to be 1. Otherwise, I don't know if this should be an elif statement. No, yeah, it's better that this is if. Event dot is, I think that we can use this one. Input dot is action pressed left, and right. So this should be not pressed. If both of those is released, the direction will be 0. And with these lines, for instance, if I'm walking to the right and I press left, the character will both of the, I don't think you can see that. Let me see. Okay, screen key, just so you can see. So I'm going to do that again. Pay attention that I'm starting to work to the right, and then I'm pressing left, and I didn't stop pressing right, but the character is still walk to the left. And also the other way around also happens. I think that there is another issue. Let me take this. I want to take this away. So there is another issue that I just noticed. If we release, I think that basically what I should do is input .isAction pressed. Yeah, this is how we fix that. So the thing is that if I was pressing the left and I press right and then I release right, the character wouldn't go back to the left because I was still pressing the left key. But now this for me is the best type of controller, because you have a lot of how can I say, you don't have overlapping between the inputs in such a way that at some point players are pressing one of the movements, the move keys, but the character isn't moving. With the other approach where you sum up the strength of the inputs, you have an overlap where if both are pressed, the character won't move. And this is not intuitive for players. If they are pressing a move key, the character should move. So yeah, this is how I approach the basic of horizontal movement. Now let's make the jump function. The first thing that we need to do when we jump is, since we are working with move and slide with snap, we have to set the snap vector to 0, because otherwise the character won't jump. Let me show you what happens. Velocity dot y is equal to jump strength minus jump strength. See, I can't jump. But if I reset the snap vector, if I set the snap vector to 0, yeah, I still can jump. Why though? Snap vector is... Oh yeah, because let me actually show you. If event.isAction pressed jump. So yeah, now it should work. So I can jump because the snap vector is snapping the character to the floor. But if I uncomment this line, it should work. Yeah. But we had to pay attention, because we have to reset this back to its original its original state, because we need to make it so that when the character reaches the floor again, the snap vector will snap it to the floor. So if is on floor, reset snap. Let's create this function. Vector is equal to snap direction is equal to vector to the down. Oh no, I can set it to floor. Yeah, direction set to floor. Snap vector is equal to snap direction times snap size. Let's see. Print snap vector. Well, we'll only know if we make a slope, right? And actually it should be here and here. Yay! Yeah, it's working. Without that, let me see. Yeah, let's comment that just so you can see what happens if we disable. If we disable the. You can see that the character quite like bump. This is because it's not snapping to the floor. Let me actually make the jump. And it's on floor. This should prevent it from like jumping more than once. Are we going to have double jump? I don't remember. Jump. Yeah, that dynamic jump. So do you guys know what a dynamic jump is? I like to do scene, scripts, assets, and then break them up within more specific subfolders. Yeah, the thing with this is that it makes it a bit harder to manage dependencies when you have to take one object from one project folder to another object folder. If you keep all the resources in a single folder, it's easier to manage. Okay, so yeah, a dynamic jump. Let me change this, and I can explain things with music on the ground.
Is it like a coyote jump?
What? Dynamic? What?
Is it coyote jump? Dynamic jump? Is that coyote jump?
Coyote
Or
jump
is something else?
Is something else. Coyote jump is meant to like be a forgiving mechanic or forgiving feature actually. The idea behind the dynamic jump is quite simple actually. It's just the ability to players to control the jump height and direction, because at some games if you jump, you can change the direction of the jump, you can change the length of the jump, the height of the jump as well. So the idea of a dynamic jump is that at any moment you can cancel the jump and the character will just jump until that point. So for instance, on Mario, Super Mario, the longer you keep the jump button pressed, the higher Mario will jump.
Oh, okay.
And if you release the button at some point, immediately Mario starts to fall again. So yeah, and the other thing is that you can control the direction of the jump in horizontally. So some games, for instance, on the first Prince of Persia, for instance, if you press the jump, the character will just jump statically. The direction it starts jumping will be the direction of the final jump. So the arc of the movement is always static. This is why we call it. This is why we call dynamic jump dynamic, because the trajectory of the jump can change at any moment of the arc. So and it's quite easy to implement actually. The thing is that if we release actually is action release jump, we can cancel the jump. I think that this will be on the jump function, it shouldn't be handled here. So if character is not on floor, it will return and cancel jump. So here are the cancel jump. We need to check if the character is if the impulse of the jump is actually how can I say that? We have to check if the character is actually jumping and not falling, because if the character is falling and we keep releasing the jump button, the character will start to glide, and this can be a very game-breaking feature, bug actually, because this is not supposed to happen. So the first thing that we need to know if is the velocity smaller than 0. This will make so that the character actually greater than 0. We return and not on ground. Is on floor actually. Floor. So this is so that we can do like these small hops and not the actual jump. I'm gonna dang, I hate when I don't configure the Windows settings actually, because for testing purpose I always keep the window on top, but when it is full screen it sucks. What is the Windows settings? Window full screen, always on top, yeah. Way better. Let me increase the jump strength. I think that this should do the trick. So yeah, with the ability to cancel the jump, characters can do these small hops, which is how can I say, it allows some level design features such as stairs. Let me show you what I mean by that. Static body. So let's say we want a there like actually why this let's keep on the grid and I'm going to use this instead. Duplicate and convert this to a polygon, collision polygon 2D. Okay. So if you want to make a stair, you can do something like this. And if you have the ability to hop, you can choose which of these degrees you want to stop at. So you can do something like this, right? You can do a small hop and pick one of the degrees of the stair. But if you have a static jump, the character will just make something like this, and you can barely choose which one you'll fall to. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why for platformers is actually better to have a dynamic jump. But for some games such as like RPGs, it's better to have a static jump, because since they work on grids, especially if you are using tile maps and stuff like this, if the character is stopped at any point in the tile map that is off grid, it will look strange, right? So you have to ensure that when the character jumps, it will always perform a static jump that will always land on a tile on the map. So yeah, static jumps have the value as well. Okay, next up, jump chaotic time. Click snap. Jump buffer, slope handling. Yeah, slope handling is done already. Fall through. Let's implement the fall through. For the fall through mechanic, I think that, I don't know if you guys already watched the video where I talk about that, but the thing is that you have to dynamically activate and deactivate a collision layer. So to the physics, let's say environment, and then fall through and characters, actually player, and then enemies. So open the player, transform, collision, it's on the player and it masks the environment and fall through by default. So let's say we want to fall through let's transform this into a fall through platform. Fall through platform. Basically we just need to make it, to add it to the fall through layer. remove it from the environment layer. And just to give a visual cue, I'm going to make it going to add this small visual cue. Just to tell that this is something that you can fall through. And something that we can do as well is to make this collision polygon one-way collision, so we can pass through in one direction and then when we are jumping, and then downwards as well. Okay, so now the thing that we need to do is to allow the player to jump through now, to fall. And the way that we can do that is when we press the jump, we can check if let me see, if input is action pressed down and we press the jump, and during this action press jump, fall through. No, I think that's better to do something like this. If input is action pressed down, fall through, else jump. So let's create the fall through function. Fall through. Collision, set collision shape, set collision mask. Yeah, collision mask. 1, so false. Is it 1? Yeah, bit 1. Is it bit or value? Okay. And we must reset this to true. If we release the down, release down, and get collision mask bit, collision mask bit 1. So if this is not true, set it to true. And with that we should have, oops, okay, let's see if we can handle multiple ones. So as long as I keep the down button pressed, I will fall through all of them. Yep. And if I decide to release it at any point, yeah, should stop on the next one. Yeah, so fall through already implemented as well. Now chaotic time and cliff snap. Chaotic time will be a bit annoying to have. So let's add a timer. So on most of the checks where I try to check for is on floor, instead I would check if this chaotic time is active instead. Okay. This should 0.1. I think that this is enough. Not is on floor. But here goes, how will I handle when the character just jumped? Because this will allow characters to jump higher. So I should check for a cliff instead. Not just if the character is on ground or something like this. Or maybe I can add 2 raycasts, and if both aren't colliding with anything, they will trigger the chaotic time. I think that this will be the approach here. Me. So I'm going to make this feature an independent scene by itself because it makes more sense to me. This is going to be something that later I can like reuse, so yeah, let's be smart and reuse stuff. Save this as a branch. Chaotic time. Okay, let's open that, add a script, create. So I'm ready. Var left ray. And I'm going to export the threshold. Duration actually. And there will be a variable just to tell that is active. The chaotic time is currently active. So we are going to use the physics instead. Timeout. Let's go to false. And let's create 2 signals. So these rays are going to look for bodies that are both environment and fall through. Okay. And during that time, we should have some way to make it so that that we cancel the chaotic time. No, but this doesn't prevent the character from like jumping, and this will, yeah. Guys need help. How do I prevent this from triggering if the character just jumped? Oi, Pig, manda salve. Salve! Salve Storyboards! ADHYAS56 Storyboard. Salve! De boa, cara. Sei que você é BR. Sou. Qual dica você daria para alguém poder fazer sistema de slopes no Godot? Como assim sistema de slopes? Joshua. Hello, how are you doing, Joshua? Bom, me explica aí esse esquema de slopes que você tá querendo fazer, cara, porque eu não entendi. Mas, vamos lá. Como é que eu vou prevenir isso aqui de... acho que o único jeito de eu fazer isso, cara... Ai, como é que eu posso fazer isso aí? Verificando se... Tá. Quando... Vou fazer o seguinte. Aqui no Chaotic Time... Okay. Let's see if this will work. Technically, I should be able to fall and still... no. Oh, okay, I should actually change this. Actually, the jump, where is it? If... if not is on floor. No, I think that these are two different stuff. So if not is on floor, not is on floor, it will check if coyote time is active. Return. Yeah, there we have it, coyote time. Yep. Are we live? I received a... Hello, hi, doing well. How about you? I'm doing good, just a bit sick. I'm with a cold. I can't speak Spanish. It's not Spanish, it's Portuguese. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna stay for a little bit, okay? Thanks. Storyboards. O que você quer dizer com o sistema de slopes, cara? Explica melhor isso aí. Now, cliff snap. This one is tricky. Let's start with jump buffer actually. Jump buffer is quite like a chaotic time, but it works for when the character is not on the floor. So if we press jump and the character is not on the floor, we can buff this for a while, right? And when the character reaches the floor, we make it jump again. So let's do that. Timer, jump buffer, and this is going to be very quick. Save this as well. So it's going to have an unhandled input variable as well. Something I really wish that we had here on timers is the ability to like have a virtual function for when they are active. Oops. Let's see players. So jump buffer. We need some floor. Let's see. Just for testing purposes, I will increase this time to like 1 second, just so we can see. Actually, we don't need that, right? Well, let's jump and press jump again. Yeah, so this shouldn't be here. So I'm going to override the start function so that it activates it. Start. Should I have like a time here? Yeah. Time sec. Sec. By default, it's focus. By default, it's -1. Okay. So the first thing that we are going to do is to make a super call, passing the time sec, and then set active. Actually, I don't think that we need this script. We can just check. Move to trash. We don't need you. And of course we don't need that as well. The only thing that we need to do is stopped. If not, jump buffer is stopped. But how it's going to start is right here at the jump. If it's not on floor, so we can add something like jump buffer dot start. Yeah, this should do the trick. Okay. And I'm going to increase this buffer to like 1 second, just so I can test this better. Okay, it's working. So if we are near the ground and we try to jump, Oh. Nah, it's not working. Maybe I should use a raycast. No. Jump buffer. Let's see what's happening. The thing is that so it shouldn't be on jump. I don't know. It's a bit pressed. If not, it's on floor. Yeah, it should be working. Why did? Let's see. So we should. It should jump a second time. It's not stopped. When does it stop? So it's actually calling the jump. It's not a floor. Let's start. I think that the thing is this chaotic time here. Let's see. No. I have to work on this input buffer. This jump buffer. Let me see what these you guys. I'm the only one chatting, still watching. You know what? Staying probably till 11. What's the song name? Let's see. Yeah, I'll put the playlist on the chat. Still watching? Yeah. Hey. Now, I don't know what's happening with this jump buffer. Something is preventing it from actually calling the jump, from actually executing the jump. Oh, maybe it's this. Let me see. No, but shouldn't be that thing. Yeah, it's definitely that thing. Okay. And let's decrease this time, so that when we, yeah, Yeah, but I'm not quite liking that. So if we release, let's see, cancel jump, I will also make this jump buffer stop. So we can jump. Okay. I don't know. I'll have to still work on this jump buffer. Because let's test this. Yeah. Jump buffer dot stop. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, perfect. Let's make it that way. Try this again. All right. Yeah, jump buffer. It's done. Now there is only the cliff snap missing. Let me see the chat. Can you make a tutorial for slopes later, please? There is actually a tutorial for slopes already. Let me see, how can I go back to my content, slopes. It's actually a a video that performed really well. Damn. There. There's actually a tutorial as well for slope. pickdown.each.io.experiments. There is a written tutorial for that as well. So where is it? Jump, fall through, moving pattern. The slope movement, this one. Probably because I'm doing this with the camera. But yeah. So back to the thing. Okay, so now the cliff snap. Cliff snaps. How can I do them? Okay, so I think that I will have maybe 2 raycasts pointing on the direction of the cliff. And then when the character how can I do that? The thing is, when the character is falling, maybe something like a raycast here, really small raycast here that will teleport the character a bit close to the cliff. No, this one should be a bit bigger. Something like this. Tô ao vivo. Daqui a pouco eu saio. So it's going to take the collision point, but the thing is that I don't know how to snap the character there. I don't know if I should teleport the character directly to the collision point, or if I should just push it just a little bit, just so the difference between its position. I think that I will do that. So we are going to take the difference and apply to the position of the character, to the character position. I'm not too fond of this cliff snap. I think that this is going to be a feature that I will digest. Cliff snap. Okay, guys, we are close to the end of the stream. We have 15 minutes more to chat and to take to answer some questions. So most of the features that I planned to do, we did. Cliff snap, I will still have to research and see if this is actually necessary. I'm not too fond of this kind of feature. I'll see if this is really needed. But if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. Let's make a Q&A session. So 15 minutes for free chat. How you all doing? What's the plans for the week? Okay, so if we don't have anything else to chat about, I'm just going to stop the stream. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm going to make some cuts and probably will make this a standalone video for each of the features that we applied. And well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that when I start the next stream or when I release the videos compiling the content that we made here in the stream, you get notified and you can decide if you want to or not, if you want to watch it or not. Okay, so don't forget that the files for the product that we are making will be available to patrons only. It will be exclusive for $5 donations. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep developing, and until the next time.